Perfect. So great. So I'm sure everybody today must be enjoying the event, and is a back-to-back for, been hearing about the great thing that you guys doing. And today, my discussion would be on more towards the Spot by NetApp. And of course, when we are talking about public cloud, right? First thing we always hear how to get CloudOps on track, and that's a great topic. And this is very, very important because when you are on public cloud, it's very easy to deploy, but very, very easy to lose control. And if you're not losing, sorry, if you're losing control, you lose money, right? And that's what here today from Spot by NetApp, how we will help you get that cloud cost on track, and at the same time, gonna give you scalable and always available infrastructure within the cloud journey. So you're talking to Amit Anand. I'm a partner account manager for ASEAN in ANZ. So I'm your rep today. We'll be talking about who we are, what we are doing in the market, and how we are helping enterprise like you to save a huge cloud cost, right? Perfect. Why Spot? It's been very, very known. A lot of customer like you must be aware about Spotinst, right? I mean, that's what the company we started 5 years ago. And we have a founders, they were working for Israel Army and were working for their cloud journey. And they found that there are many cloud costs that we can save. And that's where the company started called Spotinst before. And last year, it's been, last year, they have contacted NetApp as a customer. And they say, hey, NetApp, you've been spending $1 million per month on AWS. How about you can try Spotinst and see how we can save costs for you. And that's where Spot, have started the POC with NetApp, and you'll be surprised. They will be able to save 70% costs for them. And that's where NetApp have realized that this could be a great product to be in the public cloud offering from NetApp, by the way. And that's what we're here today. And all the discussion happened. And last year, we have acquired and become Spot by NetApp. And what we are seeing that in currently, right? The biggest challenge is the cost and the complexity. When you are in public cloud, you are sure about that. They're very, very difficult on AWS, Azure, and GCP in terms of alerting and reporting, right? When it comes to scale up, scale down, you have no idea what I'm doing. And that's where our customer find out how would be easier tool that can manage my public cloud. And guys, let's make it more interactive. So feel free to ask questions, and I'll be very, very happy and delighted to respond to you over. So how the Spot started, right? We help our customer to automate their adoption, optimize their workload, and last not the least, we try to make sure that they do not have any operational overhead issues and save 70 to 80% cost. We have a customer, by the way, in Philippines, they're saving 90% cost as well, right? And on public cloud, AWS. So we would be very, very happy to talk to you about how they're doing and how we are assisting them to make sure they have 100% SLA and at the same time, the biggest cost savings. What we do, you've been hearing about cost optimization, right? It's very, very common. And that's what most of the company, they use some CMP tool, would be Cloud Health, Cloudability, or Cloud Checker. What they do is they help you in terms of authenticating, which is more like, they will tell you that here is the area, go ahead and start working on, right? That's what they call it, continuous optimization. What we do is we do a CDCI, which is a continuous delivery and the continuous integration, but at the same time, Spot makes it the entire customer and their Spot API to the public cloud and make it continuous optimization, right? Because we are not a company who give recommendation. We are the company who offers you automation. And let me show you in next slide, what are we doing? Perfect. And I'm sure about all of you would be aware about this 3 pricing model, right? Purchase model. It's very, very common. So when you're talking to your customer, ask them about how you're managing your compute. They will tell you that I'm on demand. And let me be honest with you, when I talk to a customer here in Philippines, they are mostly on demand. So on demand is always available, but make sure it's very expensive, right? And why it's expensive? Because you buy per cost unit. Per unit you buy compute, all right? You need a T2 dot large, a T2 dot nano, etc. So you buy what you use, right? It's a pay as you go. But when it comes to reserve capacity, so your customer, you would be, you would be buying RI and savings plan too. I'm sure about that. And that's what our customers like you buy savings plans and reserve instance, RI and savings plan. And why it's important? Because RI, the reserve instance, gives you many effort, right? Because when you buy RI and savings plan, the good part is that you get discount, but there's a commitment to it. 1 year minimum and 3 years maximum. And what happened? You get scale up, scale down, you lose money because you would not, if you're not using it, it go lapse, right? And that's what every customer are afraid of it. You are always afraid of, if I'm not going to use that commitment, it will go, I'm going to lose it. And that's what we are here to talk about, how Spot going to help you. And last not the least, we're talking about excess capacity. So what is excess capacity? So excess capacity increase your saving by 70%. But remember, it falls back on demand when your excess capacity get over. So when you're not using your product, or maybe you overuse it, it fall back to on demand. And as I said before, on demand is totally very expensive. All right, let me talk about little details. You are working on public cloud, and this is the cloud economics, right? Unit price, and also we're talking about consumption model. So what the unit price do? If you are in Azure, you have an enterprise agreement. If you are in AWS, you have a master pair account, right? And these are the unit price for RI, which is a reserve instance, savings plan, spot instance. And another side, you have a consumption model, which you're talking about auto scaling, right sizing, scheduling, right? And idle resource termination. So in case if you're using a CMP tool like a Cloudability, Cloud Checker, what they do is they give you a recommendation. They don't do anything. They'll tell you, hey, customer, here is the area of saving for you. Go ahead and eliminate it. And what you have to do is, it's going to be a manual effort. You need to have your cloud engineer. They will look at it. Of course, let me see what I can do a right sizing. And maybe I can delete or not delete. If you forget, you pay for public cloud offerings. But what Spot do it, Spot do automation. Just a moment. Automation. So what does Spot by NetApp do? We do not want a manual effort. We will automate everything when it comes to public cloud. And that's what we are only player in the market who do automation. So when you're talking to a CMP, cloud cost optimization product, they would be talking about recommendation, right sizing, but none of them do automation. We are here today, and we are the one who do automation. I'll talk about more in details how we do automation. So this is very, very important slide, by the way. So what you're doing with Spot and what you're doing without Spot, right? So when you have a Spot with you, without Spot, let me talk about, because I'm sure many of you not be using Spot by NetApp, right? So if you're not using Spot, you would be 80%, you would be utilizing your on-demand, which is costly. Then you will have some commitment with AWS and Azure about the reserve instance on Spot instance, right? As I talk about that, you need to have a continuous optimization. You need to have an auto scaling, and you want to be available all the time. So, and with Spot, when you are subscribed to Spot, first we will look at your commitment, because you already paid to AWS. You already committed to AWS. So we make sure that 90% time we will use your commitment, and we will fall back to on demand only when it's required. But we make sure that you optimize or utilize your commitment plan, because that's what you paid for. All right. And that's what we say, that we make sure that our customer should never move to on demand. Always use your commitment plan, utilize it, fully utilize it, and then fall back on demand when is required. We never appreciate that our customer go back to on demand first. Okay. When it comes to auto scaling, we make sure that it's automatically scale. I do not want your human intervene on that, and also make sure that is always available. All right. And make sure that your algorithm working very well on your timely data, so that you have nothing is called fallback. Let me give you a product overview. That's what I'm super excited about today. So Spot has many products, guys. I'm sure you would be knowing that, and I'm delighted to tell you that many of you might be using Cloud Checker. And very recently, just a month back, we acquired Cloud Checker. So Cloud Checker is Spot by NetApp now. So if you're using Cloud Checker, you are a Spot customer now, right? So that's a privilege in FinOps. And we have divided a 4 portfolio within Spot by NetApp. It comes with FinOps, DevOps, SecOps, and Desktop Ops. All right. So Cloud Checker and Eco, which is our commitment tool, which is Eco, I'm going to talk about in details. It is a part of Cloud Checker and it's going to be Eco for MSP and Eco for our customer like you. All right. And DevOps side, we have Ocean, we have an Elastic Group for virtual machines. I'm sure many of you're working with a Spot instance and many workload of a container in Kubernetes. I'll talk more about that. It's for DevOps tool. Now we have a security tool in place. So make sure that your cloud security also will be taken care by Spot by NetApp. And very recently, we have launched a product called Spot PC that works on Azure, and it gives you a desktop optimization. We'll talk about that as well. So when it comes to cloud journey and your journey, you are my customer today. All right. How would you be moving it? So we look at the time and the time of cloud maturity. If you look at that, right, when you start with Eco, you move your workload towards your scaling and your web application and container and Kubernetes. So all 3 products of ours, which is live and used by 2,000 plus customer worldwide, they are Spot by NetApp customer. All right. They're using Spot, Eco, Elastic Group, and Ocean. And I'm sure I'll be very delighted if you go to our website called www.spot.io, and you would be able to see our case studies over there and see that how we are happy customer using Spot. And also you can see that how Eco helps and Elastic Group and Ocean to a customer like you. So this is our portfolio right now. It's very much active. And as I said before, 2,000 customers been using that. So we have a baseline product called Cloud Analyzer. So what the Cloud Analyzers do, it's a free tool. All right. And free tool means you can go ahead and add your cloud account, AWS master pair account. And it's completely, by the way, a read-only access. We do not want you to have any access over there. You use Cloud Analyzer and add your master paired account from AWS and start looking at our FinOps tool called Eco and what Eco does. And as I said before to you, Eco is one of the best product in Spot by NetApp, and it's a FinOps tool. And what they do is they manage a commitment plan for your reserve instance and savings plan. All right. And it works on any type of workload, whether it's a monolithic or lift and shift, because it's a pricing model software. All right. And what it does is it just sit on your public cloud and start giving you recommendation, because what we make sure that you do not have to do any commitment with AWS going forward to buy RI and savings plan. So what we will do is we will purchase Spot by NetApp, gonna buy RI and savings plan, and we will utilize for your customer, for you, and we make sure that when it's not been used or you having scaling up, scaling down, right, we would be able to sell it whatever is not being used. So you're not going to waste money and save 70% cost. And we have another product called Elastic Group for VMs. And what the Elastic Group do, it's a multi-cloud autoscaler, right? And this is one of the amazing product I'm going to talk about in my next slide. This is something which, if you're using a Kubernetes and container like Ocean, and that gonna mitigate your risk on Spot instance. And I'll be very honest with you, Eco is for FinOps and Elastic Group and Ocean for DevOps. So if you have your team managing the DevOps, introduce them Elastic Group and Ocean. And if you are very much concerned about the cloud cost and save cost within 30 days, start using Eco for FinOps. So as I said before, Eco is our commitment tool, and it manages your workload, your compute workload. And if you look at that, it's from our demo site, and that talk about how we help you saving cost, right? And we make sure that within 72 hours, we will be able to show you how much saving that you missed and how much saving that we can generate today. All right. And as I said before, it's all this tool is completely a read-only access. So you don't need to install any agent or anything. It just work on a read-only, and we would be able to save cost for you. And I'm sure about your CFO and CIO would be delighted to use this product, because it's gonna give you a savings right there in 72 hours and show you that this is your RI and savings plan strategy, and this much saving that Spot offering you. All right. So you don't need to commit to your AWS, by the way, from today, and anything that is going to lapse your RI, and you're going to be buying RI and savings plan, by the way, as your plan for next fiscal. To make sure that you don't need to commit to it, and you would be saving 90% cost on compute. And if you look at this particular slide, going to give you a 1,000-foot overview on that. Before Eco and after Eco. So what is before Eco? When you're not using Eco from Spot, all right, your on-demand cost is like 60%, and the 30% would be your coverage when you have a RI and savings plan. But with Eco, we would make sure that your coverage is 100% or 95%, by the way, and we would be able to sell 65% unused RIs. So you make sure that you make more money, by the way, and you give back to your CIO, you give back to your CFO and say that this is the saving that Spot offers. All right. And that's what we are here today, to make sure that you save huge cost on public cloud. And now I'm delighted to talk about our product called Elastic Group, right? We have a less time, so make sure that I are personally going to talk about all three products for you. Right. So Elastic Group is, as I said before, it's completely autoscaler, and it works on a stateless workload. All right. If you're running a stateless workload, this is your product, by the way. Okay. It provision and manage and scale the compute instance to support any Elastic application or any load balancer workload. Okay. And top of spare of your reserve cloud capacity. So if you have a reserve cloud capacity, without compromising your availability, with your enterprise grade SLA, everybody need a full 100% SLA. And even if you're working on mission critical application, or if your workload can benefit up to 90% cost saving using our Elastic Group. Okay. And that works on all three cloud, AWS, GCP, and Azure. Right. And the beauty of that, we're going to do in predictive scaling and rebalancing as well. So we make sure that every feature which you use in Elastic Group, it works on auto scaling, and that gives you a completely auto recovery, and that also give you a comprehensive dashboarding and automation. So make sure that you get full SLA with saving 90% cost. And we have use cases over here. So use cases mean in case if you're running a load balancer application, Jenkins, any stateful application, Elasticsearch, or anything that you're running, by the way, in Kubernetes, it works there. And feel free to involve on a POC with us, and we'll show you the magic. It's a free POC for 14 days. We would be able to show you the magic when you start working closely with us. And we have a customer called Demand Base, and they're using, by the way, and saving 70 to 80% cost. And by the way, demand-based is only on website. Go ahead and read through a demand-based case studies over on YouTube, and they're talking about how Spot saving them 80% with 100% SLA. Now, the next product, which is amazing product for your serverless compute. So I'm sure about that you would be managing amazing serverless experience, and you want to be must be having lot many clusters on control plane, and you want to make sure that it should be a serverless experience, and that's what Spot does. So what Ocean does is Oceans provide you a container world automation. Like if you're doing a bin packing, auto scaling, and any ups and down on, or scaling up, scaling down that you're doing on serverless experience, this is your product. And how it happens and how it works, because we work with seamless integration with any types of data plane, whether it's an EKS, AKS, GKE, Dockers, it's all gonna work because there's nothing change and gives you a serverless experience. And that's what we say Ocean is one of the product if you're running your container-based product, right? And good part is that when you have a Kubernetes and how it works, you just have to connect with a container, running containers into the cloud, and it's the magic start from there. So, and Ocean is designed in such a way, so every pod I'm going to talk about right now here. So if you look at the pods here, how we do in a data plane, so it's designed in such a way that pods and workload can take an advantage on underlying capabilities of a cloud compute infrastructure, such as a pricing, life cycle, if you're running on anything on that, performance, availability, which is completely important for you, availability, and without to know anything about it, right? And as I said before to you, it works on all control plane, which is a EKS, GKE, ECS, OpenShift, down, if you're working anything like a standalone Kubernetes, it works very, very well. And start the POC with us. And as I said before, it's going to start showing you the magic within 48 hours. And we are here today to give you a complete understanding about how our Ocean going to help you in terms of Spot, on demand, and RI, reserve instance. It works on all intelligent selection that you have already made, by the way. And I'm going to talk about Ticketmaster, who's our customer, and they're talking about how Spot was the nirvana for them when it comes to managing a complex Kubernetes workload. So if you are working on a Kubernetes container, have Spot presentation and demo with us. And today I'm talking about a very high level overview, but would be very, very delighted to involve you to talk about a POC and talk about how Spot, all three products, going to show you the details about it. And today I'm going to talk about, we have, as I said, 2,000 plus customer, and we are managing 5 billion plus compute hour per month. So think about it, 5 years old company called Spot by NetApp would be able to manage 5 billion plus compute hours. And we have a 750,000 concurrent managed nodes. And that is only possible a happy customer like you. And we are saving 73% average savings for our customer. So when you are coming on board to us on Spot by NetApp, we make sure that you save 70% cloud cost with 100% SLA and 100% availability. And that's what Spot by NetApp going to give you a complete complex, whatever your complex environment that you're running on public cloud, AWS, Azure, and GCP. We would be able to fix that for you with any boundaries. And that's what our customer are very, very happy, and they've been growing with us, and we are growing their public cloud journey. Now I'm going to talk about, I'm so sorry, did I miss anything? All right. And also we have a success-based pricing. How can I leave that? Guys, this is something that you want to hear that, because it's for you, because you are our prospect and customer working with vSticks. I'll be honest with you, we don't charge anything upfront. So when it comes to product and pricing, many of the CMP tools charge you based on the cloud spend, but Spot by NetApp is not charged anything upfront. It's only charged when it comes to savings that we do. So when we save cost for you, we charge a percentage of realized savings. So you don't need to pay a single dollar, anything to us. When we don't save, we don't charge anything. We have a model, it's called no commitment and the consumption. So you can go with the pay-as-you-go model. So you grow with us, you grow by, with a spot by NetApp and the consumption based. And we charge on a monthly fee. That's what I said. I should not talk about pricing, but why I'm excited and talk about pricing, because I'm sure about that you will have a many question. How do we charge? How do we have a pricing model? And spot by NetApp would not charge anything upfront. Is all about saving. When we save cost, we charge percentage of it. We don't save anything, we charge nothing. And that's what, this is the best model that we work with a customer like you. And next, how we help customer. It's very, very important for you to know. And this is give you a summary of our all three product, right? The first thing what we do in Spot, we help you saving up to 80-90% cost. We make sure that we expand your utilization on Spot instance. We get the full value of your RI and savings plan. So in case if you're planning to buy RI and savings plan, you do not want to do a commitment with AWS, we're going to do buy for you. And we're going to make sure that you save 70-90% cost in the commitment with 3 years coverage. And that's what we're going to do for you. Second part, with Spot, we would make sure that we automate your compute resource and save your 85% and taking the operational burden. So you make sure that you focus more on business, and we will take care of your issues when it comes to public cloud and governance. All right. And also we utilize your auto scaling to make sure that your all resources all the needed resources are met, and make sure that there's no any backend SLA. Everything is completely worked on it. And also gonna be telling you guys, it's very, very important for you when it comes to accelerate delivery. All right. We hear that from many customer, they are unable to automate their container and Kubernetes. And that's what they have already looked at Spot by NetApp. And we were all able to automate their infrastructure on public cloud with the Kubernetes and container in a public cloud journey. All right. And good part is that we work very, very closely with hyperscalers like AWS, Azure, and GCP. All three hyperscalers are working very, very closely with us, and we are driving amazing business through them. And they also work closely with you. So if you have a relationship with AWS, Azure, GCP, involve us in discussion. They also promote our offerings by the way, to their customer. So if you're a customer of AWS, Azure, they would be very, very happy to talk about Spot by NetApp, because we never compete. And also, as I said before, we do a continuous optimization. So it's just not that one time. All right. It's become like a life cycle. So it's Spot by NetApp gonna be a journey with you, and make sure that it's working very, very closely with you, and make sure that it's give you a complete overview on a public cloud cost governance. And that's what we are here today. So now I'm here to hear from you questions and what are you using currently, guys. Just share with us, and I'm happy to answer it.